Alright, so got all of my tools. Today I will be using a Sharpall 220 on one side, and there's a 600 on the other side. I haven't decided yet, but I think what I'm going to do is put around probably an 18-degree edge on this one, just so that it still maintains its toughness. I'm going to leave this grit pattern on the knife at 220, and then I'm going to deburr it as well on this exact scratch pattern on this particular knife, so that it's very toothy, bites well, and maintains its toughness. I'm going to set it on our knife on that primary bevel there. Figure out where I want to put my thumb, somewhere around there. And honestly, 18 just feels a little low for this particular blade, so I'm going to bump it up to about 19. I think there's room enough to be tough and also geometrically sharp as well. Once I get that indentation, I just use my Sharpie and I mark that on my thumb. Then I lay my thumb down as if I was sharpening, and I put my finger down on the other side, and that will be my line for the next angle on the way back with the backwards passes or reverse passes. So we are ready to sharpen. I'm going to make sure that this lines up. Put that line right there on where you decided to put your thumb. Make sure that you're still at around 19 degrees, close as you can get it. And we begin the sharpening. As always, you want to lock your wrist. Make sure you have nothing in the way to your right or left that's going to jump out and get in the way. So now we're clear. We use that same exact spot on the same exact area of the knife. We lock our wrist out, and we're going to be using our elbow to get to the tip. What I like to do is go ahead and go at that diagonal scratch pattern. Okay, as you can tell there, we did hit the tip. I do not suspect that this is going to take very long to get a burr. So let the diamonds do the work. Maybe a pound or 2 pounds of pressure. And what we have here is a well-established scratch pattern everywhere except for down here at the base. You can probably see that better here. So we're going to work on that base a little bit. Oh yeah, much better. You can actually see that really well now, all the way down and to the tip. There is some area right there on the edge that needs to be, basically we're going all the way from the top of that bevel, that secondary bevel, to the apex, and it's going to take a minute to reach that because it goes down and not up. And what I mean by that is your scratch pattern starts at the top of your bevel, and then it moves its way down as the steel is removed and forms that burr. And all a burr is metal, steel that you've sharpened away and is wrapping over to the other side. So what I'm doing now is just feeling for the burr, starting to get it a little bit in the belly, making sure that my angle is touching all the way down. Looks pretty good. Need some work on that tip a little bit, and maybe at the heel there too. We're getting there though. Lock back in. Sometimes I like to work on sections. Just remember, if you're going to work on sections, you need to follow it with full passes, just to reestablish that scratch pattern consistently along the edge of the blade. Using my fingernail to check for the burr. Don't really have one at the tip, but we start to have one right there. All right, just need some more work on the tip and the heel. It's all about evening everything out. If you work on one section of the blade, you just want to even it out. Still don't have one at that tip either. So as you can tell, I've not hit that tip very well yet. So I'm going to really focus in on that real quick. Make sure that I am hitting that tip the way it should be. Right there's where I want it. It's such a large curve that you really have to pick that elbow way up there just to hit it. Now we're making a little bit of progress. You can tell there I'm starting to get really close. That very tip is what we want to hit eventually. It's such a large curve that you really have to pick that elbow way up there just to hit it. And since I did so much work on that tip, I'm just going back with full passes again. think we finally done it, folks. So as you could tell, the whole time I was moving closer and closer until finally that tip was hit just right and formed the burr. There is just a very slight section at the top. I'm gonna get it a little bit better. As you can see, my elbow is lifting way up, but my angle never changes. My thumb is still where it needs to be to keep that angle right where it's at. All right, beautiful work there. You can see that burr just hanging on there. And just like I want. Perfect, guys. Feels good. There's a burr all the way down. Okay, now we're just gonna check and make sure our scratch pattern looks good, which it does. All right, that is it. There's my line. I'm gonna put that right back on there, just like so. I like to check it at first to make sure I am at that 19 degrees. Yes, I am. And we can start the sharpening process from the other side. What I like to do is do a reverse pass just to flip that burr. That burr is now flipped onto this side. Lock our wrist and continue working on flipping that burr. Right there, it looks like fuzz is your burr. After, especially with a coarse grit, whenever you do burr removal, it's going to turn to a more finer dust instead of a wire burr like you would have if you refined it at a higher grit. But that's what's going on there, is your burr is just falling off. And at this point, you can be a little bit lighter with the forward passes and the reverse passes. And at this point I can see that most of the burr is gone. All right, remember which side I sharpened last. So if there is any remnants, it's going to be on this side. I'm going to use a 650 hybrid bonded stone by KDTU. .650 grit, and our goal here is just to hit the apex. We're not looking to start a new scratch pattern or anything like that. We're just trying to hit that apex, get that burr right on off of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and find my angle again. We're at 20 degrees right now, and that's kind of where I want to be, because I want to angle it just ever so slightly so that we can hit that apex. nice and light at around 20 to 21 degrees just to hit that apex and not change the scratch pattern. Make sure that you keep it nice and lubed up. We're almost done here, guys. And the key is your stropping. So now that we're done with our sharpening, we are going to pull out a 6 micron and a 1/2 micron. So start with a 6, starting out real kind of low.